Okay, hey guys. So, I get a lot of people that ask me how to make good Minecraft animations. Because some people tell me they want to make Minecraft animations, but they don't have time to go and learn complicated programs or whatever. And they just want a simple little program where they can just put something in and boom, there's an animation. It isn't quite that simple. It does require a little bit of work, but with a little bit of effort, you can make great Minecraft animations with this program. It's called Mine-Imator. There will be a link down in the description below where you can download this program. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you just how to use this program and the basic functionalities. So up here, there's a new animation button. That'll obviously create a new animation, or you can just hit Control N, whatever floats your boat. There's an open an animation, so if I hit that and then hit yes, you notice something pops up. It's okay, hold on just a second, guys. Okay, so my animator decided it wanted to be a jerk. But anyway, so here we are at the back at the welcome screen. So we went over the new animation. There's an open animation, so if I hit that, this window pops up, and then you can hit animations, and you see all the animations. Now, this disco animation does come pre-installed, and I'll go ahead and I'll play that animation for you so you can see what it looks like. So, pretty cool animation there. But let's go ahead and go to new animation. So you have open animation. You have save animation, so you can save the animation you're working on. Save animation as, which is just the same thing as save animation. Then you can export as a movie, so it'll take your entire animation, render it out, and then add it as an MP3 or whatever. Export a screenshot. It'll take a picture of where your current animation is at. So if I had, let's say, a character implemented and I hit export a screenshot, it'll capture this image as just a screenshot. So, then you have open project folder. So if I were working on an animation and I had all of my stuff saved to a folder, I could hit this button and then all my content would be right there. Then you have import animation. It imports things from other animations into this animation. So let's say you had a two-part animation and you made part one, and then you need some of the same scenery from part one in part two. You can bring it in from one animation to another animation, but we'll get into that in a future video. Then you have the play button, which obviously plays the animation. You have the loop button, which will replay the animation. Then you have your tempo, which sets the time. I usually keep that on 3. Not 1, but 3. Apparently that's broken right now. Then you have the camera timeline button. It adds the camera to your timeline, but we'll get into that again in future videos. You have the undo button, so if you make a mistake, you can undo it. Then you have the redo button, so if you undo too many times, you can redo. And you have the settings button, which takes you into all the settings. Size, which just increases the ground size. I usually keep that on 64. Or 16, that works too. Alright. There we go, 64. And then your quality, which obviously adjusts the quality of your animation. I usually keep it on medium. And then you have the website button, which will take you to their website, and then the forums button, which will take you to their forums. So that can come in handy. Then you might be wondering, well, what is this silly box to the left? This is where everything happens, basically. So let's say, in order to start out, let's say I wanted to add a character. You would come over here, you would hit the add button, and then you'd hit the character button. And you see it plops down a new Steve right here. This is a little box where you can look at all angles of your figure without the ground or the rest of your scenery interrupting it, which is kind of helpful. So if you add in a skin and you want to take a look to make sure that skin fits the size of the character, but you don't want to be interrupted by the rest of your animation, you can just toggle it around right here, and it's pretty darn useful. So then over here we have the remove button, which obviously removes the character, and then the duplicate button, which makes a duplicate of that character. Then you have the name, so you can name your character. We'll just name him character, which I think is what he was originally named, but oh well. Then you have the model button, so if you want to make him a villager, you can make him a villager. Then you can add skins by hitting the skin and then going to browse, and again it opens up this window. And we can select a skin. Let's say we want to make him a farmer. We can make him a farmer. Unfortunately, the villager's arms do not move. I wish they would update that. Anyway, then you have instances here. We're going to go out of library, go into instances. And you may be asking how I'm switching from these. There's an arrow. This is your main library, which it'll open up when you first open up the program. Then this is your instances, which we'll get into right now. Let's say I had some characters added. We'll add a couple here, maybe an item. I don't know. I'm not doing this for perfection. But you notice if I go out of here and I go into my instances, all of the stuff that I added, including the camera, is right here. And then from there you can make them visible, or you can take them off your timeline. Then you can add duplicates, basically, of characters there, and it'll duplicate their skin and um their models. So if you had I don't know, if you had a villager with a priest villager, and you wanted two of them, you could come to the instances tab and do that. That is where I actually spend most of my time making animations. Then you have the remove button and the duplicate button as normal. Lock to parent button, I don't really use this much. I mean, I do, just not as much as I feel I should. But let's say let's say I went back to my library and removed all of these, and then I added an item. Say I added a sword, and I wanted him to hold the sword at all times. No matter where he went or what his body was doing, he was always holding on to the sword. So I can do that by the power of locking things to parents, alright? I'll get rid of that here in just a second. But if I go into instances and I hit lock to parent, and then I go to where it says parent and I click on it, I can make it item 1. And then body part, just leave it the way it is because it's better. So then if I come over here and I move Steve, you notice the sword moves with him. So that's something cool there that you can do. And I just removed my character, but that's okay. I can add a new one. So then you have your background. You can change it to nighttime. You can, which I end up doing for some of my animations. I haven't actually put any of my animations out on YouTube yet. I feel I should do that sometime. You can customize the lighting if you feel necessary. You can change the sky color to, let's say, orange. So now the sky will be orange and then black again at nighttime. But for now, we'll just hit the undo button there. You can click the show ground button and it'll remove or show the ground. And then you can click on all of these and it changes your terrain. I don't usually use this much unless I'm making him wander through like a desert or something. Then I'll come in here and click the sand button and just make him walk through a whole bunch of sand. But normally I just keep it on default grass, just like this. You can put it on andesite if you want to, or gravel, or what's the new one? They have andesite, they have gravel, or maybe they're both gravel. No, that's definitely andesite. See, they have andesite, they have granite, and they have diorite. I only see the andesite. I don't see the diorite or granite. But anyway, you can make it water, lava. You can't really make it fire because it just doesn't work. As you can see, that's supposed to be fire, but it doesn't work. Lava could be kind of cool for some things too. If you had like, well, we'll find out later what it can, all the things that it can do, but it can do some pretty useful stuff, and water as well can do some pretty useful things. You can make some tripwire if that's kind of your thing, but again, I normally, if I can find it here, I normally leave that on default grass, just because that's what I feel. Oh, and if you scroll with the mouse, you notice it zooms in and out. If you press, or if you click and hold the left mouse button, you can rotate around like this. And then if you right click, you can, if you right click and hold, you can look around like you can in normal Minecraft. Anything else you should know? You might be wondering, what is this down here that you keep referring to? This is a timeline. This is where you keep all your keyframes, which is useful for making animations, because things respond in forms of keyframes. So to add a new keyframe, you just go to where you want to add it, and click. It's that simple, and then from there you can edit it however you want. You can make him do a flip through the ground, or whatever you want to do. And then you can do the same thing with the camera. You can move the camera around and do whatever. But that's about it. And then we'll talk about some of these things in a later video. You know what? Let's just go ahead and talk about them now. I don't even care. So you have your reset keyframe, which will reset the keyframe to its default. I'm gonna go ahead and delete all of these keyframes here. And then you have rotate and move, which we'll get into in a future video when we talk about cameras. But we're not going to talk about that right now. You have overlay, which changes the color. So let's say I wanted to have a red out. I can just make everything completely red, or I can make it just partially red. Sometimes what this is useful for, I'll have an animation that has several scenes, so I'll just quickly fade it off and then fade it back into a new scene. And it's kind of useful. And you have FOV. I'm not sure what that does. Oh, yeah, that's what FOV does. I don't normally mess with that. Tempo, I'm not sure what it does in this sense. And then transition. You can make an instant transition. So if I wanted the camera to switch here to here, and I had it on linear, and I played it from right there. You notice it does switch instantly. That's a problem. Leave that on linear. Alright, so you notice it starts rotating as it hits that keyframe, which can be useful for some things, but let's say I wanted just quick camera jumps. You go to the keyframe previous to it. So if I want to make this keyframe jump, be the quick transition, I have to go to the keyframe before it, hit the transition button, go to instance, and then you notice, boom, right where quick it changes. And I use that transition all the time. It's just much easier. So yeah, that's just it. That's just the basics, guys. I know we did go into a little bit of detail on some things, but this is just, I mean, this is really just a big chunk of what you need to know. If you had a cookie that you divided into fourths, this would be 3/4. And just the information in this video that we covered here today is 3/4 of the cookie. So once you know pretty much all of the stuff that we talked about in this video today, you're pretty much ready to go and make your first animation. Now, it may not be a very good animation, which is okay. Not every animation you make is going to be good, but it certainly will be a thrill. My first animation, I remember, all it was Steve jumping out and scaring, or it was the other way around, wasn't it? Hold on, I can't remember this. Oh, I remember, it was Herobrine jumping out from behind a tree and scaring Notch. So, literally all I had was this default ground, a tree, a Herobrine skin, and a Notch skin. That's all I had, guys. But anyway, so that's just, I mean, not every animation you make is going to be good. But anyway, that's all I wanted to talk to you guys about in this video. The next Mine-Imator video will probably start looking at some different scenery and stuff, and how to edit characters and whatnot. How to maybe do some walking animations. Walking is really easy in Mine-Imator. Just a couple of clicks and then boom, you can have your character walking halfway across the field. But anyway, that's about it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did and you're new to the channel, hit that like and that subscribe button. Help me out a lot. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video. Bye bye, guys.